Hey everybody, what is going on? Welcome back to another episode of Amps of the Axe FX 3. I am going to be your host, Lucas, and today we have an amp that is very near and dear to my heart. That is going to be the Roland Jazz 120. Guys, if this is the first time here, or if you have been here before, make sure you are subscribed, because we do lots of cool stuff here. We go over Axe FX, we go over amps, we go over guitars, and we do giveaways, and I don't want you to miss any of that cool stuff. So, let's check out the Jazz Roland 120. So this is exactly what the Roland looks like. It's nothing very special. It's a very plain looking amp, and it's primarily used for clean tone. I played on one of these in college for about 3 years, back in 07, as I believe, when I started playing it, when I was taking jazz guitar with Dr. George at the University of Louisiana, and I played one of these for my senior recital. I actually have that on my YouTube channel. I'll link that up top if you want to check it out. It's from 2010, so it's gonna be 11 years in November. It was a long time ago. It was really fun though. It was one of the funnest times in my life. Anyway, we had a few of these. I think we had two of these. One stayed in Dr. Jeff's office, and that's what we used for lessons, and then the other one we used for like when we were having like guitar combos and stuff like that. So it's a 2-channel amp, and one channel is just clean, and the other channel has like the effects on the end. Right here, do you have a closer view of it? Yes, we do. So see, you have the effects right here. We never use the effects, so we always just used it for the clean tone, pretty much. And where is it in here? It's a really funny line. So the amp does have a distortion control, but the distortion sounds so terrible that it should be forbidden by law, by use, which I actually believe, because this is a solid state amp. There is a tube version of it that exists, but the one that's in the Axe FX is a solid state version of it, and it's 120, so it's 60 watts per side, pretty much like 60 watts per channel, I believe. I believe that's how it breaks up, and it's associated with like ultra clean tones. And like I said, we used it pretty much for jazz. It was introduced back in 1975. And it was actually used by Metallica and nu metal bands for the clean sections in their songs, which I did not know before I read that in here. And this is from EX Amp Guy, by the way. I'm going to put that in the description down below if you want to check that out. So let's actually look at how I have it dialed in here. So very simple. This amp is sort of weird. It doesn't have a master volume, so I cranked the level right here. And if you crank up the input drive, it does tend to break up. Primarily probably because of the pickups I'm using. This pickups I'm using are an HC1 and HC3. That's Tom Anderson pickups, and this is my Tom Anderson Cobra S. And of course, they're going to be in some standard tuning. The IR we're going to be using today is from here. It's the 212 Jazz 120 57C. I just kept it really simple. I normally use ML Mega Green for everything, but I kind of wanted to keep it very authentic for this. Did not mess with anything in the EQ drive. I literally put it on and dialed everything in here authentic, and let's see what it sounds like. Everything you're going to be hearing today is going to be from my neck pickup, because that's where jazz is meant to be played. I played jazz on a red Epiphone 335 model, and I very rarely ever used the pitch pickup. It was pretty much only the neck pickup, which the neck pickup was actually better sounding than the pitch. But anyway, I digress. So let me attempt to play some jazz for you, man. I have not really played jazz in like a very long time. Like I've kind of, I've gotten away from playing it. But let me play you a little bit of it, or at least attempt to. I'm pretty sure I played that right. If I played it wrong, let me know in the comments down below. But that was So What from Miles Davis. I think that's off of Some Kind of Blue. That song is in Dorian. That's actually a really cool jazz song. So it's in D Dorian. So you can literally just play the C major scale all over the place. No sharps, no flats. It's one of the very first easier jazz songs that I learned, and it's actually really fun. I ended up playing it for my senior recital, and it's cool and it's easy. For those who don't know, jazz uses a lot of major and minor sevenths, so you're playing like chords like is a minor seven right here. And that's kind of what jazz is you catch the chromatic notes as you go down to add up, I don't say spice, but jazz is a lot like it's a lot like beer. It's an acquired taste. Some people are gonna hate it at first, and then they love it, and then some people just hate it altogether. Jazz is actually very good. Like, some of the best guitarists ever were jazz musicians, like Wes Montgomery. I'm blanking right now, but there's a lot of good ones out there. Wes was really good. He uses a lot of he uses his thumb. That's a terrible impersonation of him. He uses a lot of octaves stuff too, which is very interesting. And then there's Thelonious Monk. Of course, you have Miles Davis and all of the classic people. But you have a lot of other people who aren't as well known who are really good at jazz. Okay, sorry for that jazz rant. That is really about it for the Jazz 120 and the Axe FX3. To me, this is like the quintessential jazz amp because I played on it for so long. It's very simple to dial in. I'm not even going to attempt the distortion. It does break up if you push. Watch, I'll just push the input and I'll show you how it breaks up. See, it breaks. That kind of sounds terrible. But that's not what this amp is for. This amp is for jazz, and it's for pure clean tones is what it is. And it does that job. It does that job very well. You can get great jazz tones on here. I tried to dial in the best jazz tone that I could on my Anderson. This is really not made to play jazz, but I found it did a decent job. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for the Roland Jazz 120 in the Axe FX3, also known as the Jazz 120 in the Axe FX3. If you thought this video was cool, leave me a thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate that. Coming up next on Amps of the Axe 50, on our next episode, we're going to be looking at a very famous amp, the JMP1 preamp from Marshall. That is going to be coming up next. Make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss it. Guys, if you thought this was cool, leave me a thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it. I think I already said that. Sorry if I said that again. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Really appreciate it. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.